The WBC, Mauricio Suleiman, orders WILLIAMZEPEDA and Shakur Stevenson to have a mega showdown fight. But Oscar de la Hoya chimes in and says that he doesn't want that fight. In other words, and this I quote, Oscar adds that Zepeda is such a badass that he has 4 sanctioning bodies where he could choose from, and nobody is gonna tell him what to do or who he should fight next. Now, I do know Gervonta Tank Davis and Vasily Lomachenko have a mega showdown fight. Now, I still think that's a great fight, but I still think WILLIAMZEPEDA versus Shakur Stevenson is a much better fight, competitive-wise. Some people are probably gonna say, what are you talking about, Manny? If you've seen Shakur Stevenson's last fight, it was very lackluster and it wasn't a really entertaining fight. What makes you say that this fight is going to be better than the Gervonta Tank Davis and Vasily Lomachenko fight? Well, it really doesn't take a genius to see that Shakur Stevenson is a special talent. Even Teofimo Lopez is ducking Shakur Stevenson, and Teo is one of my favorite fighters, and never in a million years did I ever think that Teofimo was gonna avoid Shakur Stevenson. And also put it this way, Teofimo has been calling out Terence Crawford, and in a recent interview he stated that he is willing to move up to 154 to fight Terence Crawford, but he is not willing to fight Shakur Stevenson. People are probably still gonna say, well, that doesn't make Shakur Stevenson a great fighter because he did not really throw any punches in his last 2 fights, but that's because Shakur Stevenson is a counterpuncher and a boxer. But if the other fighter is not willing to engage, then he's not gonna do anything either. But WILLIAMZEPEDA is willing to engage, and he throws a gang of punches. If this fight does happen, I see an all-classic war because Shakur Stevenson is a counterpuncher and Zepeda is a come-forward fighter that throws punches and bunches, and they are just gonna go at it because Zepeda is willing to engage. And also put it this way, when Shakur Stevenson and Gervonta Tank Davis fight, that will be a very boring fight, the first half of the fight, because Tank Davis is a very slow starter and Shakur will not engage with Tank Davis in the first 6 rounds, because look at the Frank Martin versus Tank fight. Tank did not start punching until like the 5th or 6th round. And look at Shakur Stevenson's last fight with Hertunian. If he did not want to engage with somebody that punches less harder than Tank Davis, what makes us think that he's gonna go engage with Tank Davis when he can knock out Shakur Stevenson in just 1 punch? I'm actually one of the few guys that actually thinks Shakur Stevenson can outbox Tank Davis, but not if he doesn't engage. If Tank Davis does not engage, how is he gonna beat up Tank Davis if he's not gonna try to fight? I remember Rolly Romero, one of the greatest fighters of all time, said that Shakur Stevenson can put everybody to sleep, but not in the ring, outside the ring. That must have been real. And I actually think Shakur Stevenson beats everybody except for Gervonta Tank Davis because he is not willing to engage with all these lesser fighters. He is not gonna do that to Tank, but he will take the fight because Tank Davis is one of the faces of boxing and the money man at 135.
Let's go, champ!